In this video, I want to introduce you to the concept of a merge conflict. This is something that can happen when you're working in a group on an assignment or a case where you're using Git and GitLab. And so the file I want you to do a little exercise with is part of the RSM ICT RMD Git tidy repo. I'm on my projects page here on GitLab. And you'll see two links again, where RSM ICT 2019 is the class repo, the one created by the instructor. And you see you only have reporter privileges on that repo, which means you can clone it, you can make changes, however, you cannot push those changes back up to GitLab. So the one we're going to use is RSM and then your username, and then the one that you have maintainer privileges for, because again, we can clone that, we can edit, make changes, commit, and push the changes back up to GitLab. All right, so let's click on that link and clone the repo. Go into RStudio, start Git Gadget, and clone. So this takes a second, and then it says RStudio, the R session is currently busy. Are you sure you want to quit? Well, what is it busy with? It's busy running Git Gadget. And so we don't need that. We want to get to the files. So go ahead and click yes. And then here are the files. Let me make that a bit bigger. And so the file I want you to take a look at is in the Git directory, and then merge conflict. Okay. Now I'm going to show you the instructions that go with this exercise, and they are part of the class Dropbox folder that I shared with you. And so this is in session 4 in ICT 2019 on Dropbox. So go into session 4 and click on the PDF. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Yep, there we go. And so here's the exercise I want you to go through. So I want you to edit the mergeconflict.rmd file on gitlab.com, and I'll show you how that works in a second. And I want you there to enter only the date and then enter a commit message that this was done from gitlab.com. Okay, so let's do that first. Here we go. All right, GitLab. So this is GitLab. All right, this is where we just cloned our repo. So I'm going to go into the Git directory and click on mergeconflict.rmd. And now here's edit. Now you don't usually use this all that much, but I want to give you an example of how a merge conflict might arise in an environment that's simple where it's just you. Okay. So what did the PDF say? The PDF say to put in only the date in this particular file. So right now it is August 27th, 2019. And so I am going to go here and say the commit message should be gitlab.com commit. gitlab.com commit. And hit commit change. And again, we're doing this inside of GitLab. Again, you don't use this very often, but I'll show you why this is relevant in a second. And you'll see now that this has been changed. The current state of the file mergeconflict.rmd on GitLab is that it has information about the date available. Okay. All right. Now the second part is open git mergeconflict.rmd on your laptop. Enter only your name, save the file, and then click commit in the Git tab. Okay. So let's do that. And we'll call this the commit laptop commit. All right, here we go. So the file is open here. And here again, the only thing that I'm going to change is I'm going to put in my name. I'm going to save this. You can see here from the little star that the changes I made have not been saved yet. So once I save and I go to the Git tab, it should show me the files that have changed. So click on the commit tab. Then say you want to commit that have this change be part of the commit. So we've staged this, and then we'll say laptop commit. Okay. So again, a commit is just a snapshot of the state of your files at any particular point in time. So click commit. All right, this all worked great. Now, listen or view closely. Keep a close eye on what's going to happen next if I hit push. Okay, so it says a bunch of stuff here. Error failed to push to the repo because updates were rejected because the remote contains work that you do not have locally. Aha. So what happened? We created deliberately a merge conflict. It says you failed to push, and the reason is because there's something that we already changed on GitLab.com, and that change was not part of a file that we had locally. So what happens here? This is an example. Just imagine that you're working with one other person, and that other person has decided to make a change to a file. For example, by adding a date to the merge conflict.rmd file. They make that change, they hit commit, and then they push. Now, the last time you pulled or cloned was a while ago, and so you're editing your file, and you add the name as given in the assignment. And now you try to push that. And so now there's two different versions of the merge conflict.rmd file, one with just a date in it and one with just a name in it. And now it's not clear which is the right version. If you do something like this with Dropbox, where, for example, you're both trying to edit a file at the same time, it's not clear who's going to win that particular battle, right? Whose changes are going to be actually maintained in the document. And so here it's not obvious which changes should actually be maintained. And so the process now is as follows. So I'm going to go back to the commit tab that I opened from RStudio. And basically what it's saying is, hey, I failed to push, and it's probably because there's some stuff on the remote being GitLab.com, that you don't have locally. So go ahead and pull. Pull the changes that we made on GitLab.com. And now, of course, there's going to be an issue, because how do we fix this up so that both states of the file that we were working on, one that we changed on GitLab.com and one that we changed on a laptop, that we get that to be merged together appropriately? Now, Git doesn't do this automatically because it's not clear what the right way to merge this is, and so we have to go into the file and fix it up. Okay? And so you can see here some stuff in orange. It's suggesting that there's a conflict, and this is actually what the new file looks like. And we can see what happened. Right? So this is the stuff that we changed locally, right, where it has my name, and this is the stuff that we changed remotely. And it's telling us, this is the block that you need to combine together into one consistent entry. Okay. Once you fix that, just let me know, and then go ahead and push that back up to GitLab. All right, so let's go ahead and fix that. Right, and so here is the merge conflict.rmd file. You can see that again, there's two pieces now, one that has the name information and one that has the date information. And so this is pretty easy to combine. I'm just going to take the date information, add it up here, and just clean up the stuff that we don't need, right? So the areas where there's an issue are always indicated by lots of smaller than signs and lots of larger than signs, and it's within that block that you need to make some updates. Okay? So we can remove all of this, and now we have the file as we want it. Okay? So I'm going to save that, go back to the commit tab, and click that we want to stage this. Now as soon as we stage this, it's going to show us now what exactly we removed and what exactly we're keeping. And so in green is the stuff that's finally going to get committed. And so now I think the last stage is just to say that we fixed the merge conflict, right? That's the last step in this process. So let's go ahead and say that. Fixed the merge conflict. Go ahead and commit that change and go ahead and push that. Cool. All right, now let's go take a look on GitLab.com. Here we go. At the state of our file. Cool. So we see your name, Vincent, and the date as we specified. And so we fixed the merge conflict. Now again, when does this happen? When you're working with multiple people at the same time, and they push a particular change to a file that you don't have yet on your local system. And so what you should do as a rule is anytime you start to work on code, is that the first thing you do is you click on the pull button. That way you ensure that you have the very latest version of all the code available. Then you make your edits, you save them, you stash them, you stage them, you commit them, and you push, and then you should be fine. Okay, so first thing you should always do, especially when you're working in a group, before you start making any changes related to Git or GitLab, is to pull, to make sure you have the very latest version of everything. All right, in the next video, I'll show you how to actually set up and use Git and GitLab if you actually are working with multiple people at the same time.